All right, so we are recording and it is great to see you. Thank you so much. Tram, great you're here. Welcome. We are going to let everybody have a few more minutes, but we will get started on time. For those of you who signed up, you will receive the recording. So I know that sometimes the mornings are quite busy with teenagers. And so we wanted to try because we also know that evenings are quite busy with teenagers. So I'm so glad you're here. We will get started very soon. And as we do, we'll be interacting. So if you have any particular questions you want answered, if you're like, oh, if somebody could just answer this, I would be so happy. Please put that in the chat because I want you to get massive value. So without further ado, welcome, Autumn. We are so excited to have this opportunity to help you help your student stand out from the crowd, as well as understand positioning, what colleges are looking for, how that all comes together. So it is great to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and put up my first slide. And it is a very easy one, but it has a request. So, all right. Welcome, everybody. We will get started very soon, right on time. I love that you're here. Thank you so much. All right. So, our first slide. If you can put in the chat the state that you're calling in from and the ages of your children, and what would you like to learn the most today? Honestly, I want to make sure that you get that question answered because this webinar is for you. This is what makes your student stand out. In the United States, colleges are asking for a lot more than a GPA and a test score. They're asking for community service. They're asking for extracurriculars and leadership, letters of recommendation and essays. They're asking you to help your child stand out and know how to position them. I understand you're probably thinking, I have no idea how to do that. And your high school doesn't either. But hopefully by the end of today, you're going to have a much better idea. So we will get started straight away. It is at the top of the hour. And so let's see, we have Florida, 14 and 12, love it. California, 16, how do we get scholarships? I'm definitely going to talk about that. My son is 15, 10th grade, Florida. Would like to know best questions to ask during tours. Oh, for sure. I wasn't going to talk about that. So I will definitely do that. Thank you, Carissa. So first things first, I'm going to stop sharing and I'd like to introduce to you ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carrie Anderson. She is my associate and she'll be helping answer any questions in the chat today. Welcome, Carrie.
Thank you and welcome everyone. We're so happy you're here.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on with this presentation. This, depending on your questions, could be 30 minutes. It could be an hour, but I'm here for you. I want this to be massive value. So let's go ahead and start with a little bit about me because you may be on here for the first time and never have heard of College Ready. So my name is Shellee Howard. I am the founder and CEO of College Ready. And our mission is to help 1 million students get into college and graduate debt-free. Our goal is to help you, the parents, to navigate that. So let's go ahead and jump in. Continue to ask your questions. Carrie will help answer them. And I want to jump right in and give you some great foundation, and then I'm going to give you some secret strategies. All right, Tram 13. How do I inspire my kids about college planning? She has a little bit of anxiety when we discuss. Oh, we will definitely talk about that. Child number 2, I have 4, was identical to that. So we will definitely touch on that. I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. I'm going to share a little bit of foundation and then I'm going to jump into the how, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share or answer your questions. So just know this is a very important subject because this is how your child will have an opportunity to attend the school that they want to attend. All right. So the goal today is to give you how will your students stand out? What do they need to do? How do they be competitive? Um, and so it's really about enhancing your college application. Now, I am currently in the UK and I just toured Oxford and I just toured Cambridge, 2 of the best universities in the world. And what is interesting is the United States in our universities, they're looking for a lot more than a GPA and a test score. And it's quite opposite here in the UK and in Europe. So if you have a child who is genius at testing, you might want to consider the UK because it's about half price, if not cheaper. And it's quite an impressive opportunity, but that's a whole nother webinar. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to talk about the US today because the US, the colleges and universities want to know who is your student, what matters to them, and why would they the college bring them to their college, and how will they make it better? That's a lot. So we're going to cover a lot in a short amount of time. So I want to share this screen. This is super important. So in 2021 through 22, and now we've added 23, our students have earned over 29.3 million in merit scholarships. This is on top of need-based. And how we do it is we help the student find their passion, their core values, their gifts, their talents, their leadership, their extracurriculars. We help position them with what they're truly passionate about. We are helping students be the best version of them. Okay, so let's start from there. This program called empowereducation.world was started by this young man and myself. I had just spent 17 days in Uganda helping women prepare their families to not starve, basically. There's no nice or easy way to put it. But my mission was to go over there and teach women how to lead, start businesses, to create an income, to provide for their families. Well, when I got back, this young man right here said, Shellee, how can I help? And then the next student I talked to said, Shellee, how can I help? A third time, Shellee, how can I help? And Henry took the lead. And Henry is now a rising senior, and he has really stepped into this role. So I help students figure out who they are, what matters to them most, and how do they want to be the change that they wish to see in the world. This generation of teenagers, they're amazing. They truly are advocates. They are for the underdog and they want to make a difference. This group, which started with just Henry and I, is now up to 37 students who meet every week for 1 hour. And in 18 months, they raised over 18,000 US dollars and built 2 classrooms. They have done amazing work. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you how you can take advantage of this opportunity at no cost to your family. This is my passion, which transferred to your students so they can figure out those things that will help them when they go to interview or write an essay for college. So exciting. So, again, this is for you. I want to help you help your child be successful. So, what will they do this year? Now, we work with students in seventh and eighth grade, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and college transfer students. We really focus in on the teenagers and how will we help that student stand out? So here's the reality. The problem is my son just wants to play games on his computer and my daughter's attached to her phone. I can't tell you how many times I hear this in frustration. The solution is you need to take the lead or have somebody else take the lead and put a plan in place. If they're not going to listen to you and they listen to a coach or a mentor or a therapist, then make sure they're getting that support. It is so important because if they're doing nothing, it means they just don't know how to do it, what needs to be done. Most of the time, I find out it's not anything other than they're deer in headlights. So the solution is help, guidance, mentorship, lots of hugs, and lots of encouragement. You're in the right place if today you want to learn about helping your child get accepted to the college they wish to attend and receive scholarships. For that wonderful person that says, I want to know about scholarships, guess what? Their extracurriculars equals dollars. This is something that we have proven time and time again. Sorry, my firstborn 17 years ago used the same strategy to get into 7 top-tier colleges, attend Harvard, pre-med, graduate debt-free, and then successfully get into medical school, get into a top-tier residency, and he'll graduate from UCLA as an orthopedic surgeon with a $30,000 in total college debt. That's undergrad, medical school, and residency. It is possible, and I want to show you how. Again, the problem is if they are planning for college on their own, they are overwhelmed. I have not met a student yet who said, Shellee, I don't need your help. I've got this. Haven't met one yet. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. But this is it. Have you asked your child what are they passionate about? Have you asked them what are their core values? They may look at you like, I don't know what you're talking about, or they may shrug, or they may be irritated, or they may be like, tell me more. I'm curious. What do you mean? It's this open communication that starts this process. And if done correctly, your teen will learn new ideas from different people, how to collaborate with others, diversity and inclusion, and have examples and proof, to be a team player and a leader, to know how to manage their time and write essays that they will be proud of and help them to be successful. Colleges are not looking for students to come, take an education, and leave. They are looking for students to come, lead others, to create change, and make their school better. College is a business, and you're their next marketing opportunity. So, what should your student do this year? This is always the biggest question, right? Because every year is different. And how will they position themselves to stand out on their application? Here's the problem. They don't know. I promise if they did, they would do it. So the solution is focus on what they're interested in. But you have to think really, really big. I've never had a college tell me they are super impressed because Jimmy tutored or because Sally, where'd I get Sally? Who knows? But because Sally fed the homeless, right? Now, if she really wants to feed the homeless, that's one thing. But if she's doing it to check a box, she's doing it wrong. They're looking for international collaboration, national recognition, regional excellence. They're not looking for somebody who started a club at the high school with Pokemon. And I have a lot of students who are starting a lot of clubs and very frustrated when they don't get what they want, because colleges know that student doesn't have to work very hard to start a club at their school. What our students do is they brainstorm with certified professional independent college consultants. When I was a parent doing this with my firstborn, I was really frustrated because there was nobody out there doing what I thought should be done. So I went to my son's high school counselor, and I think high school counselors are amazing. So this is not a bashing session. This is really the information I received. The high school counselor said to my son when he was just coming into ninth grade, "I see that you have all straight A's. Why are you here?" And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. And I said, "Tell this lady what you told me." And he says, "Yeah, so I want to be a brain surgeon. I want to go to one of those top colleges. And my mom says you can help me." And they looked at him and said, "Why would you waste your time or money being a doctor anymore?" We both looked at each other and we knew that we had to forge this path on our own. So please know, even if you're at a private school paying a very high tuition, they still are not getting to the core of a student's passion. They're not talking about financial literacy, which is student loans. They're talking about you're good at math, go to MIT, and good luck. They're not talking about, is MIT a good social fit, a good financial fit? Truly, is it even a good academic fit if they want to go on to get an MBA or a PhD? All of these things have to be talked about. A strategy needs to be created and map out a plan. I'm actually in the process of writing my second book. My first book, for those of you who don't know, is called How to Send Your Student to College Without Losing Your Mind or Your Money. It was a bestseller in 24 hours because parents are concerned. They really want this, but they have no idea how to do it. My second one, I can't share the title yet, but it's going to be even more impressive. So let's continue so I can help you navigate. So here's the problem. How do I know what is the best use of my teen's time? Or said another way, how do I motivate my teen, right? Because they will say, as I have four, one of them says, "I'm so busy with my AP classes and my sport and leadership. How am I ever going to do anything?" That was child one. Child two is, "I'm doing two sports. I'm part of leadership. I have clubs. I don't have time for this." Number three says, "I don't really want to do it." Number four says, "I don't think I can do it." And so they prepared me for all of these questions, let me tell you. But what I can share as a parent and as a professional consultant is, if you research each college to see what they're looking for in an application and then build a plan, you can do it. So I'm going to share with you right now how we do it so you can get a really good idea on what I'm talking about. Because I know when I attend webinars like this, I think it's very difficult to understand and put it in perspective. So I'm going to actually show you versus, just kind of speak vaguely how this all works. So I'm going to share my screen and give you an opportunity to see how we do it. So this is called our vault. It used to be 33 spreadsheets when I did this with my first child. Now I'm sharing Vincent, who is my fake student. So I'm not sharing anything private. Every one of our students has a custom built strategy. Inside of here is where I can show you how this works. We can help them with their test strategy. We can show them the GPA, the test score, the positioning. So here is how we do it. You could pick any school in the world, and I can tell you, I can show you, and our students can look for themselves the GPA they need, the test score they need, and then they can see positioning. At Stanford, alumni is considered. It's not very important, but it is considered. Then you can see this is what they really are telling a student they want. If you were to look at another school, all of these X's would be in different spots. So knowing what a college is looking for gives you a competitive advantage for positioning. Then we show students not every college has every major. They don't realize that. So at Stanford, this is not a school known for their biology and biomedical sciences until the master's. Then we can show them the essay. What does it take to get in? So there's 8, 9, 10, 15 essays for one school. Yes, you heard that right. So for those of you who went to college back when I did and I wrote 2 essays, I hope it's oh my goodness, I had no idea. Why is this important? Is because colleges only want you to talk about one subject per essay. So that means at Stanford, you need to have 15 things, different things that they're going to talk about. Do you see the importance of knowing this information? On the Common App, there are a place for 10 activities, honors, and awards. On the University of California app, there are 20. So for those of you who are going to be applying to any University of California school, you thought 10 was a lot, try to come up with 20 activities, honors, and awards. So I can go on and on about positioning, and that's a whole nother webinar. But I want to jump back in and give you the how. How do I help my child do this if you want to navigate this on your own? Because that's what you came here, and so I want to share. So now let's talk about academic enrichment. So your student, the more they do, the more they stand out, the more they get to pick where they want to go. So if they take advantage of local community college classes or online courses while in high school, that's impressive. If they can teach others what they're good at in an academic subject, that's impressive. Over the summer, joining programs, research projects, internships, things of interest at a particular university, that's important. Starting and leading a club is very important. Leadership and initiative is what colleges are looking for. Having your students start a community service project or a small business is very important if they want to pick where they want to go. So with my firstborn, he was very busy and he really pushed back on this and said he didn't have time until I explained to him that he is not going to get into his dream school because he's missing this element. Then he listened and said, I'll give you 2 weeks over the summer, but that's all I can do. And so we did an incredible opportunity where him and I traveled to Kenya, Africa, and we served in the slums of Mathare. And he learned very quickly, without a doubt, that he wanted to be a doctor to help people get better. When my daughter saw pictures from Kenya, she was devastated, but in a much different way. She thought it was very sad and really unacceptable that these children never had a toy of their own or clothes of their own or had an opportunity to really understand what it felt like to have something of their own. So she started an organization called Dress of Hope. This organization started as one young lady with a vision, and by the time she graduated, she had students from all over at different high schools, and she was sending little dresses to young ladies in third world countries who never had their own clothing. She felt that this is what they needed to build their confidence, to be the change they needed to be in their culture. And now we're doing it what we call empowereducation.world. And I encourage you to look at this program. This is something we're very passionate about. It's an international program that is student-led, where Carrie and I mentor this organization to be change makers in what they want to empower others at being. Then assume leadership roles. You may have natural leaders like ASB president or first chair music or lead in the school play, but what if you don't? That's a little bit more challenging, but there are plenty of opportunities where they can lead as well. It just may be non-traditional. They're still expected to lead. Attending leadership camps is good, right? But starting a leadership camp is better. Planning a travel experience is good, but being a leader in a travel experience is better. Having financial literacy is good, but teaching and leading financial literacy is better. So I hope you're starting to see the good, the better, and the best. Then we talk about internships and work experience. Gaining relevant experience. We can't talk about this enough. Why does that child want to be an engineer? Why do they want to be a lawyer? I ask. And when I ask somebody why law, they said, because my mom says I argue a lot. That may be true, but that's not going to be enough to get them in a great university. It may make somebody laugh in an essay, but we need proof of concept. We need them to understand if they want to be an entrepreneur, don't wait, start a business. Skill development, focus on jobs that help develop skills of teamwork, leadership, diversity, inclusion. These are all things we're teaching students, and we'll get them scholarships. Community service, again, we're touching on how will you help another human being? What did you learn by doing that? That's what colleges want to know. There's good, there's better, and there's best. Document the impact. Keep track of your contribution. What was the impact of your work? You can earn international awards, national awards, and regional awards. These are the things that help you pick the college you want to attend. Think about creative and personal projects. What will showcase your talents? And how can you work with others? How can you showcase you're a brilliant author or developing a website or creating art? What will that tell the university about you? Personal growth. They want to see that you are doing something outside of college. They will actually ask you in an application, what did you do when you weren't in school? How many years did you do it? How many hours a week and how many weeks per year? Yes, they're very nosy. And so if your child's spending all of their time on their phone or on their computer or hanging out with friends at the beach, be very careful. That is not going to impress any college. What about athletics? I have a lot of students because we help scholar athletes. I was a scholar athlete. Both of my oldest children were scholar athletes. 6% go on to get a scholarship. Academically, your chances are significantly higher. But what if your child is not academic? What do they get if they're gifted as an athlete or a visual or even an artist? You want to help them cross-train and learn, coach and mentor. Think about what they can do that will show universities their impact, what's important to them. Test preparation. Your student may be telling you that testing is optional. Be very careful because it may not be tomorrow. So if you are counting on testing being optional, I would caution you because every one of our students who got the big scholarships had a test score. So our students use test preparation, testing skills, and testing scores to stand out and get accepted. The PSAT is very important. How can you use college visits? Well, at some schools, they want to know that you like them. They actually track. Do you follow them on social media? Have you been to their college? They want to know if they offered you a acceptance, would you take it? Because that's part of their yield. Virtual tours are just as powerful for your child to see if there's a good social fit, but there's nothing like being in person. Just depends on how much time, money, and energy you want to put into it. Reflection and planning. Encourage your students to reflect. What are they interested in? And how will their activities align with their future goals? We help students with assessments that were made for helping a teenager figure out their future. Our assessments are tools to help us ask them the right questions without them getting defensive and helping them lean into their gifts, their talents, their core values, their advocacy. We can then show them here are your top 3 careers, your top 3 majors, and how much money they will make when they graduate with a degree. We can even show them, will a robot be doing their job in 5 years? These are all things that are very important to their future. Planning ahead is critical. If you don't plan, you will have to accept the college for your student. And students don't like that because they want to work hard for their goals and their dream. We start students as young as 7th grade because the classes they take in middle school will impact their classes they can take in high school. It is never too early and it's never too late. So, what do colleges want? They want to know what would get your teen out of bed early on Saturday morning. Can you answer that? Do you know that thing? Would it be to good surf? You know, what would it be? Would it be to change another person's life? These are important questions to start working with your teen. How will they stand out? And how will they make that college better than when they got there? They want to see the student prove it, not just talk about it. They want to see what makes that student unique. Do not have them do what their cousin did, their best friend is doing, just because you don't know what else. We want every student to understand they need to have impact. They need to be different. It is no longer a GPA and no longer a test score. They need to have a resume that is going to wow that reader who has about 4 to 6 minutes to read through their whole application and essay. Use their passion to create a standout strategy. A standout strategy will create positioning, and positioning equals scholarships. Everybody asks me, Shellee, how did your son get into 7 top-tier colleges and how did he get a full ride at Harvard? It really came down to this. Yes, he had good grades, but he wasn't the best. He had good test scores, but they weren't the best. What he had was a very good standout strategy, and he had an amazing positioning opportunity. This is how we help students find their passion. It's through passion projects. We help them to create their mission statement, their timeline, and set goals. We help them to understand that that passion project's going to open up scholarships, which will give them the opportunity to graduate without debt. So here's the problem. Your student has no idea how to do this. I promise you, if they did, they would be doing it. The solution is you can help them if you have time and desire, and if they do what you say. Because unfortunately, after raising 4 young teenagers, 2 of them listened and 2 of them heard Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. I had to pay somebody else to give the information I gave my first 2 to my second 2. Or we can help them. We can help them with free resources. We can help them with a one-to-one strategy. We can help them with small groups. We can help them with do it themselves. We have opportunities to help you and your students. That's important for us and for you. So if you would like a free resource list or a complimentary discovery call, scan this QR code or go to collegereadyplan.info and set up a complimentary discovery call. But this really is more about what can you do? And because you've stayed with us, Carrie and I would like to gift you a free opportunity for your teenager between 7th grade and 12th grade to join us this Sunday at 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if that is something you would like to do, please put in the chat, yes, and Carrie will send you the link to join us this Sunday, where your student can watch other students lead others to their passion. So just know, if you put yes, there's no financial commitment. There's no commitment to joining a program. There's literally zero commitment other than your child gets to see other students who are doing what colleges are looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions. So thank you so much, Carrie. Were there any questions that came up that I can answer?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so there was one question that I thought was really interesting. They asked if there was a recording or a video or a webinar for students. And I said that I wasn't aware of one. Maybe you knew of one, or we could make one for students to watch.
So interesting. The question is, are they asking for their student to hear what I just said? Is that what the question is?
I'm not sure.
Because you will get a recording of this, and I would encourage you to have your student watch this.
Yes.
Is there a recording outside of this? No. And there's no recording of Empower Education because we are very protective of our children in our program because they're under 18. And so we only allow people we invite. And that's why you had to put yes, and we just didn't post for all to see. The students who are on the call know that Carrie and I are there to make sure everybody on the call has been invited. It's very important that all of our students realize that we're there to support them and also to protect them. So hopefully that was the question. All right, next question.
And I did put the Passion Project link in the chat just now.
Okay, perfect.
Let me go back here to the top. Okay.
Anything else?
Yes, there is. Hang on. How do I inspire my kids about college planning? She has a little bit of anxiety when we discuss about pre-ideation for college.
I love this. I have one of these.
Mhm.
And what I would encourage you to do is treat college like you would a museum, an art gallery, a attraction, and make it fun. They're terrified when somebody says, "What do you want to major in? What kind of career do you want? How come you don't know?" That brings them anxiety. So I started actually when my kids were in 3rd grade, and we would go on vacation to Boston, and I would include the Boston Tea Party and Harvard and MIT and an art museum, and it was just part of our experience. And we would talk about what it was like when we went to college, obviously the G-rated version, and help them to understand that it can be fun and it really is very different from what they're doing right now. So it's all in the approach. When we work with students, we're very much helping them understand that college is not 4 more years of high school. They get to take the classes they want, when they want, with the teachers they want to learn what they want to learn. And so a lot of it is the approach and making it fun.
It
Yeah.
looks like, Shellee, that's probably it with the questions, but um, I just wanted to share, and maybe Shellee, you could share a little bit more too. You guys, when you book the 30-minute discovery session with Shellee or myself, and you have your student on that call, it does kind of open up discussion with the child and ease them into what to expect with the college planning and how fun it can be. And Shellee, if you want to go into maybe a little bit more on that.
Yeah. So our discovery call is really helping your family, students, adults, discover what college is all about. It's really to help them hear another adult other than the parent talk about the importance of good grades, the importance of a good test score, the importance of serving their community, of leading others to create change. And we do it in a way that is optimistic and positive and reinforces that positive behavior. And so we love when students are on the discovery call because it's an opportunity for them to ask us questions. Is this a good idea or is this a good idea? Should I continue to do this sport? Should I not? Should I join this club? Should I not? And they can then be reassured that they're making the right choice. So I would encourage you, if you have a student feeling overwhelmed, unsure, maybe frustrated, maybe they're not listening to you. I know I have parents all the time say, I've told them the exact same thing at least 5 times. You said it once and they think it's brilliant. I understand. I'm a mom of 4. So just know that sometimes hearing it from somebody else, and then there's the last piece to that end. You want to have a relationship with your child when they leave for university that they're going to want to come home at Thanksgiving and Christmas and summer. Because if you're the one, did you get your applications done? Is your essay done? And what's your deadline? And I mean, it is a lot, a lot. And then you're telling them, did you do your homework? And where's your car keys? And it's very butting a lot of heads. So sometimes parents hire us to help them navigate that. So then when the child leaves for college, they have kept the relationship intact. And it's a wonderful opportunity for that family to enjoy the last couple of years at home. Are there any other questions that you want me to cover? If not, I'm happy to let you all enjoy the rest of your day. Let's see.
Q&A.
Okay. I also see any session geared towards students that benefit and piques their interest, I guess is the question. I really think the empowereducation.world is your best bet. There's nothing better than students getting fired up and working together and getting excited and celebrating each other about things they're passionate about. In this group, we have students. I have one student who is on fire. She wants to be the music director for the students in Uganda. She's raised money. She's buying keyboards for the children over there. She's teaching them how to play by videos that she's streaming to Uganda. And she's teaching them how to play their anthem. This is one fired up young person who's going to have so much fun in their interview and in their essay because they're speaking their language. They're truly helping another human being. So if you're not sure about how to get your student fired up, just have them come and watch these kids because they are on fire for being the change that is possible. So many students get stuck in their phone and get stuck, kind of feeling I'm not as good as Instagram or I'm not as good as TikTok or, nobody gets into college and nobody gets scholarships. Trust me, these students are getting full rides. They're getting partial offers. Every one of our students gets at least twice their investment. So just know, don't listen to all of what's going on in social media because we are truly experiencing quite the difference. I had a student this year who applied to every University of California school, and I asked her why. I go, "Did you want to go to all of them?" And she goes, "No, but my sister didn't get into one, and so I wanted to prove that I got into all of them." And she did. So guess what? She has bragging rights.
Yeah.
So these are the things we want to help you understand. And did I answer them all, Carrie?
Actually, there's one in the Q&A. It says, do most colleges do a first round cut using just GPA and SAT or ACT score?
It really depends on the university. If it's an Ivy, yes. If you have a 2.5, there's no reason to look any further. That student would be overwhelmed, stressed out, not a good academic fit for an Ivy League school. But if you're at a state school, that's, they only have your GPA and maybe your test score if you're not going optional. So for a student who only has, or not a great GPA, they really need to stand out because there's a lot of universities who look at the entire student before they make judgment on the GPA. So don't rule out a school just because they had maybe a rough semester or a rough year. We can answer a great essay to help them understand that. Wonderful. Well, thank you all very much for being on the call. Hopefully this was super powerful for you. You will receive the recording and we are here for you if you have any further questions. Thank you all for attending and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.